Hey YouTube family, it's your girl Jazzy, getting jazzy with jazz. And if y'all want to have a good time, YouTube family, just like I do, come on over. And I need y'all to go ahead and do this for me, like, comment, and subscribe. And then we gonna get the party started. Hey, YouTube family. So I'm bringing y'all Love Island USA episode 32. All right. So Amaya and Brian, they in the hideaway. And they walk in the hideaway in awe. And they were kissing and hugging. And Clark and Taylor. And then Clark asked Taylor if he has any wedding plans. And then Taylor expresses that she wants, Taylor expresses that he wants everyone to wear a cowboy hat with initials on the hat. And Clark says she likes the idea and she wants an extravagant wedding. Rightfully so, girl. I don't blame you. And then he's thinking about being closed off with Clark. And I said, oh, that's sweet. I just love it. And this is Huda and Chris. And he's mad. He says that his mood is mellow. And Chris expresses he likes her a lot. And back to Amaya and Brian. They're talking a good time in the jacuzzi and in the playtime room. And she expresses she's a big romantic girl. And then everyone is getting ready for bed. And they're just, they just talking. And then Pepe expresses that he didn't know he'd get this close to anybody here other than Hannah. And I was glad that he got over Hannah because, it was time, Pepe. And then back to Amaya and Brian. And then the next day, the men are making breakfast as they normally do. And then Ace, he gave Shelly flowers with her breakfast. So sweet. And Amaya and Brian, they expressed being in the jacuzzi. They was happy to be in the jacuzzi. And she said it was her favorite because she did say that being in the jacuzzi was her favorite part. And then back at the villa, Ace expresses he appreciates Shelly for cooking him breakfast last night. And back to Amaya and Brian in the hideaway. Amaya expresses how grateful she is for all of this and him and the connection. And they're returning to the villa. I know they hated it. But back at the villa, and Brian tells the men about their date at the hideaway. And he just says that, he couldn't ask for a better time. And he did say that, he had a good time. If y'all know what the good time is, There was some sheets that was, rearranging and moving and all that. And Amaya tells the girls also that she said that she was great. It was great and intimate. And she says she's very happy to feel understood. And I said, I'm so happy for you, Amaya, because I'm so happy that you understood, girl. And that's why I'm going to continue to vote for y'all. And Brian and Chris. So Chris got a text. He got a text. And then it's a game of 3-on-3 and no girls at all. No girls allowed. Boo, boo. And the boys are hyped. And then Huda and the girls are like, well, what are we supposed to do? And the boys are on their way. And here for the one and here are the teams. So Ace, Pepe, and Brian. And then we have Chris, Taylor, and Nick. And you know, you can just about guess who's gonna win. Height does matter. And then Pepe got a shot. And then Pepe got another. And then Chris got a 3. And then Chris got a 2. I said, okay then. And Nick got a 3. And then Pepe got a 2. Taylor got a 2. And then Chris got a dunk. Because it was like an N1 situation. And you know Chris so tall, he just had to go ahead and finish it. I'm like, get it, Chris. You can just about guess who won. That was a fun time. And they was just sitting down. They was just chopping it up with each other. And then back at the villa, Shelly said that she got her money on Ace. Because they was just saying, who y'all think gonna win? And then Shelly said she got her money on Ace winning. And they're playing Would You Rather. And Iris asked, would you rather stank breath or stank armpits? And Huda said, no stank. And then Clark and Shelly said, armpits. Pretty much armpits. Come on now. And then back to the boys at the 3-on-3. And they said Chris got the most buckets, which we already knew. Low key. And then Nick said him and Alandria are talking, taking their time, and it's going good. And then they're just having basic small talk. You know, nothing else. You know how guys be doing. And then back at the villa, Alandria said she would have never seen her and Nick being in a situation. She said she never would have saw her and Nick being in a situation. Because she said she just had to get pretty much used to the situation of, you know, having to deal with the fact that Clark is the woman in Taylor's life. So, just had to deal with that. And then Nick said him and Alandria are talking, taking their time, of course. And then Huda loves Chris's communication. And this is what Huda said now. She said that she loves Chris's communication. Y'all believe her? She just saying something to have something to say. I mean, anyway. Huda loves Chris communication, of course. And then the boys, Chris said Huda is sometimes defensive. Of course, she is defensive. And she always is defensive. And I'm like, this is what I'm finna tell you, Mr. Chris. You knew exactly how she was. Because the whole thing is, you had to watch the video. You have to, every bombshell that comes in the villa, they have to watch the camera. And then I guess that's how they're going to figure out their connections, of course. So he knew well how she was. So it's like he can't be coming up in here playing a series of, oh my God, I didn't know. Boy, please, you knew. And then Taylor says that, moving off of Chris, because Taylor says that he loves the feeling that he gets from Clark. And he wants to close things off with Clark. And he feels that she's the one for him. And it's just so sweet, because I was just saying, I'm so happy, Clark. And I'm so happy, Taylor, that y'all have found each other, because y'all are a match made in heaven. And I think they so sweet. And I always say, if anything happens where they ever have to go home or anything like that, they got a communication, and then they making outside the villa plans and all that. So I mean, I know that they gonna be good. I trust that they'll be good, and then I trust that Amaya and Brian will be good. I don't know about nobody else though. I'm just saying, I don't. And then back at the villa, they're playing playing table tennis, excuse me. And the boys appear back from 3-on-3, and they just tell the girls all about the game. And the girls said they had fun around the villa too. And then later on in the day, but it's a good time. It's a good later on in the day. So Taylor and Clark are just closing, just chilling, and and dozing and chilling. And then the girls are getting ready. So the boys. And then Clark and Alandria seem to have gotten close. And I'm like, see, Alandria, I knew that you was going to be okay. Because my whole thing is, girl, you just had to connect. You just had to get the understanding that you wasn't going to be able to be with Taylor. And that cowboy just didn't want you. And we have been telling you that cowboy didn't want you. And I don't know why you just didn't just accept that the cowboy didn't want you. But anyway, moving on. So they are close and all that. And then Taylor appreciates them for the memories, and he says that he loves them all. And I said, oh. And then Taylor and the boys were spelling out Clark's name, because he said that he ready to be closed out for her. And they were spelling out Clark's name, and they spell out her name, C-L-A-R-T. And they see the only one I want to see, T and Duchess, U-N-T. Did handstand. He did a handstand flip. Oh my God. I'm like, oh, Taylor. Whew, I wasn't expecting that. And then Taylor expresses his love for Clark. And I was just so in awe. And Huda and Chris, it can't stay good for that long, y'all. So Huda and Chris, Huda says that she doesn't like public affection, PDA, public display of affection. And Chris says he's confused as to why, because of the stuff in the bedroom. And Chris feels that he can't explain himself to Huda, and they don't see eye to eye. And I'm like, no, they don't. Y'all don't see eye to eye. And I'm like, she just want to have a problem or have a reason to complain and complain and complain and complain and complain. I'm like, girl, really? You gonna have an issue? See, I knew you was gonna start. I mean, and it's just like, stop giving your goods to these men. If you stop giving the goods to the men, then you won't have an issue, girl. Stop it. And then Amaya and Chris, because Chris, he comes and he asks Amaya, and Chris talks to Amaya about him and Huda. And Amaya feels as if he has every right for his feelings. Of course, she is such a girl's girl, and she is such just a logical person. And then and I'm like, girl, stop it. And then so he expresses, that he can't pretty much be in a relationship with her. So, and I felt so bad for him. And then Amaya feels that as if he has every right to his feelings. And then she was just saying, well, give me a hug. And then she said, I'll go get her and I'll talk to her. And then Alandria, she expresses she feels genuinely happy for Taylor. And I said, okay, girl, okay, that's it, girl. You're supposed to be happy for one another, because you found your couple, you found your person. And Huda and Amaya talks to Huda about the situation, and Huda said that she just wants this relationship to be between them. No PDA. And she says she doesn't want to share the public display of affection with everyone because she says she tried that with Jeremiah, and she says she's trying to make this one different. But I'm trying to see. I kind of understand what she's saying, but then I kind of don't, because my whole thing is, Huda, please don't, because you sound bad. You sound crazy, because it's like, it's almost like you're ashamed of him. It's almost like you're ashamed of him, and you just are trying to use him so you can play the game and so you can win. But just know, girl, as long as I can vote, I'm gonna always vote for Maya and Brian. So and then she just told Amaya that, I don't know. And then she gave her a hug, and I'm like, yeah, that's all you can do for Huda, because it ain't really nothing else. Because Huda is just, I don't know, it's just so draining for me to even say anything, about her. And I don't know. But anyway, moving on to the next person, Pepe and Iris. They got a text, and the text tells them to gather at the fire pit immediately. At Huda's text, America has been voting for their favorite couple, and the couple with the fewest votes will be dumped from the island tonight. It's not all bad stuff though, because you form a connection and then you good with your connection, if that makes sense. So everyone looks nervous, including me, because I was just like, because I really like a couple of, couples. I like Amaya and Brian, and I like Taylor and Clark. But hey, like I said, everybody has to go home at some point. Everybody can't win. And Amaya's text says, will all Islanders please stand up? And then Nick's text says, in no particular order, the first couple safe is Shelly and Ace. Ooh, yay. And Clark's text, the next couple safe is Amaya and Brian. Ooh, yes, because I sure voted. I voted, y'all. Don't play with me. I'm going to always vote for Amaya and Brian. And Ace's text, the third couple safe is, and this one was wrong to me. It shouldn't have been this particular couple, because I know for a darn fact that I was not trying to vote for Pepe and Iris. I wasn't trying to vote for no Pepe and Iris. And then, like I said, and then it was Ace's text. And Alandria's text says, the fourth couple safe is Huda and Chris. And I'm like, really? So it's really some hood rats out there? It's really some hood rats out there. Or whatever her fans call them. Whatever her fans call themselves. Y'all really don't see the dysfunction or whatever, but y'all just want to vote for who y'all want to vote for. Because, of course, y'all think that it's supposed to be how y'all think it's supposed to be, which is complete and utter BS. And Brian's text says, Clark and Taylor and Alandria and Nick, please stand in front of the fire pit. And Shelly's text, the couple with the lowest vote will be dumped from the island. And it's Clark and Taylor. And he's very emotional at the moment. But, it is what it is. And, of course, he's not going to be mad. And that's why I said you can't be mad. And I couldn't be sad or whatever, upset, because him and Clark made a connection. And the whole thing is they gonna have a connection, and they gonna be the couple that's gonna be the they gonna be the couple. They gonna be the couple from season 6. Yes. So that was Love Island season 7 episode. I don't want to give y'all the wrong episode now, because there's so many episodes. I gotta keep it up. I gotta keep up with it. I gotta keep up with it so much. I was going to say 32. I ain't want to be wrong though. So that was Love Island season 7 episode 32. Episode 32. And the thing is, my girl, my favorite couple, they got voted off the island, but it's okay. It's okay. Because like I said, it's happier times and happier everything. So they're gonna be the next Cordell and Serena. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. The next Cordell and Serena. Bye, YouTube. Good night. And Chris trying to get started on the first pose so they can finish, you know, everything. And she said, well, it's just F me. Just fuck me then. Because he ignored her purposely. And I don't blame him, because don't nobody want to hear that crazy. I mean, I'm Harvey Hooder. Don't nobody want to hear that. And then Chris says that, let's get started on the workout. They was done with the workout. And then Amaya and Brian, Clark says that she wants a girl and a boy. And they're sharing what they want in real life. And then why Iris then sat there and said, I want 5 cats. And Pepe said, his face. When she said she want 5 kids, and he had a WTF face. And I'm like, And then the ladies are relaxing, of course, and then, you know, lounging at the top. And then Ace and the fellas, they got the babies. And then they say that we should all round up, because Ace got them riled all up. And then they decide to do a silent race and challenge the babies, as well as did why Huda just said, I don't like that color. I don't like that color shirt. Then Chris says, shut up. I laughed. But however, she said, watch your mouth. Like, who cares? And I'm like, who cares about the shirt? And he said, who cares about the shirt? And I'm like, but B. She did. She did say.
She said, don't tell me to shut up.
Yes.
Yeah, she didn't say. You don't gotta stop this. I'm gonna edit it down.
Okay. And then Huda says that, what are you doing? And she's talking about the baby. And also, he putting it in the baby stroller. And he said, I'm trying to sit with the baby. And she just rushing over there. And I'm like, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. And then what happens is, after they was done, you know, hanging with, taking care of the babies and all that, then it was the next day. And then it was all chill, because really didn't nothing else happen. They took care of the babies, and then they all was just like cuddled up and all that, and they was just talking and discussing. And that was all, y'all. And that was love. And that was... And that was... I think that was episode 30.
That was this episode, Mommy.
Okay, and then, my bad, y'all. I forgot about the most important part. Okay, so, that challenge won somebody, you know. So, Clark and Taylor first place. And then Amaya and Brian, they was actually last place. And it wasn't a prize, you know, that was behind this. So it was just trying to see how y'all was gonna handle babies and all that. And then they pretty much said that somebody would, because the hideaway, it's a text, and then the hideaway is open now. And I said, oh, all right, hideaway. So, you know, they all discussed who gonna go to the hideaway. And then everybody said Ace, not Ace, because Ace was pretty much saying, okay, we need to send Pepe. Not Pepe. We just basically send Brian. We're going to send Brian and Amaya. And so they chose Brian and Amaya. And I was just so happy because Amaya was like, I can't wait. And Alandria, let me just go ahead and get to the. It was Alandria and Shelly, and they were both helping her get ready, helping her with her hair. And then I do remember Alandria making sure that her garter belt was snapped tight enough for her lingerie, because Amaya did say, I don't have any lingerie. Can y'all give me some lingerie? And then they gave her some lingerie. It was pretty in pink. And she looked so cute. And she had her little pink garter belt stockings, and then her pink lingerie, and then she had a little cute little jacket on. That's a sexy jacket, yes, girl. But she had the white shoes. But she looked cute. And then while Brian was down there, and he said, oh, you look good. She said, thank you. And everybody pretty much said, okay, I'm finna tell you the men, because I do remember they sung to the men. They said, Brian and Amaya at the hideaway. Or Brian and Amaya at the hideaway. Brian and Amaya at the hideaway. Go. And then it went to, the ladies had to come back, and then they said, eat that cookie at the hideaway. Eat that kitty at the hideaway. Hey, eat that kitty at the hideaway. Hey. I said, okay, y'all. And then they was so happy. And then they was hideaway. And then Brian said, okay. Let's go. She was looking that pretty now. She was looking pretty. And I said, okay, girl. Okay. I'm Maya Papaya. And then it went on. And again, that was Love Island USA, Season 7, Episode 31. And I'm finna give this episode a name. I'm gonna say Hideaway Fantasies, because they sure got the hideaway, and they were well deserving. They was well deserving. And I was like, yay. Amaya is so sweet, and they a cute couple, and we know they gonna win. As long as I'm voting, they gonna win. Yep. But bye, YouTube family. I'm gonna get this uploaded. Bye. And YouTube, that was the video. And what I want y'all to do is like, comment, and subscribe. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, YouTube family.